over this paperwork I gave you, the little slides. Um, this was from a Baker Tilly web thing I went to, and there you go. So this just kind of gives you an idea of what's coming down the pipe if things stay the way they are right now. So the first page goes over like in what our current homestead deduction is, which is 48,000. And then there's the supplemental homestead deduction that everybody gets. It's on top of the standard, which is 37.5%. And then you'll see as it goes through, the supplemental homestead deduction increases, and then the standard deduction starts to decrease. By the time it gets to 2031, they're projecting that they're going to only have 2/3 of their property value that people are going to have to pay property taxes on. So property taxes and local income tax are our biggest income. So that's our biggest things we have. If you look at the next page, they've actually broke it down and they've used an assessed value. So these, if you'll see, the assessed value. So they have the home value and then how the deduction and then the supplemental. So this year, for their net assessed value, which is what they base their property taxes on, would be 120,446. When they get to 2031, it could be as low as 80,158 that they're being taxed on. So the reason they say they have done this is to slow down the rapid rate of inflation that the houses have experienced. But if it doesn't keep at the rate that it was, then we could actually see a reduction in our net assessed value. And all of our property taxes are based on the net assessed value.
What do you end up that supplemental homestead deduction is? What's that?
So you currently have that. So I don't know how they figured. It says 37.5% currently. But what they're going to do is they're going to take away the standard deduction and then increase your percentages every year on your supplemental. So that's going to be your deduction on your house. So this year it's only 72,267 for the supplemental. And by 2031, they're saying 160,556. So, and this is all, I believe it all comes from the inflation and how home values have increased quickly. And then their taxes have went up significantly. The next one, you guys have any questions about that? Basically, we're probably going to not get as many property taxes. This is what we do right now. So like I said in that email today, this year, I think it was 601,000 or something that we got for property taxes. And that's split between 4 funds. I didn't send you guys information on CCD because that one's kind of just set anyways. So it's the park, the MVH, and then the general fund. So, and we can decide how we want to divvy that up. The next one is a new deduction for the 2%. So there's like different rates. You have a 1%, which is your homestead. You got 2%, which is your ag, non-homestead. So the rental properties. So, and then the long-term care facilities. They're in the future, they're going to get a deduction. Right now they have 0. So in 2026, they're going to get a 6% deduction. And then by 2031, it's 33.4 or 1/3% of the value. So I think this one here is going to hurt us the most because I think we have a high rental population or rental homes in the town. And I think that's maybe why we weren't hurt as much by the first projection for 2026, because that basically applies to homeowners. Now, this does show that they're going to get some, but based on what they said we're going to get, it wasn't that bad. But by the time we get to 33.4, we're probably really going to be feeling that one. And the last one, I don't know how much this will. I don't know what our personal property values are for the town of Monon.
We don't have very good business to begin with.
Right. So right now they have up to 80,000 of their equipment that's non-taxable.
But Vanguard is inside of our city limits, isn't it? They got ambulance stands. So they're part
Yeah,
of this.
right.
Okay.
And then 2026, it remains the same, but then 2027, they can have up to 2 million in non-taxable. So, Yeah.
So I was gonna say,
yep. So don't really, have the hard numbers of how this is going to affect us. Another thing to keep in mind is our local income tax rate. We don't know what's going to happen with that. And that's the other big thing that we have that comes in to fund our budgets. Now the lit is supposed to be where we can ask the county to include us in that 1.2%, but they get to decide how they want to divvy that up. So, but we have to ask the county to implement that for the town. So then that gets split between everybody who asks.
Who does that? Who does
We
the
will.
asking?
So that's not until next year.
Okay.
So.
Got a lot.
Yeah. So then there's a deadline and everything that we have to do that by. So, while we're talking about deadlines, so right now our deadline for our public hearing is October 22nd. So I didn't know if you guys wanted to shoot for September 3rd before our regular meeting to have our public hearing for the budget, and then hopefully do the adoption on October 1st. So like 6:15, like we did last year. So we do have to have the because we have 2 that can't vote. So we had to make sure that we can have the 3 others at that meeting to vote.
Give me those dates again.
well, I was thinking
So our meeting in September is on September 3rd.
And that'll be a public hearing at 6:15.
Yes.
On September 3rd.
it'd be mandatory for 3 of you.
I'm abstaining if you guys ain't here.
September 3rd.
And then adoption is tentative for October 1st. Hope I got those dates right. I looked before.
Well, you'll email us out.
Yeah.
We try.
And October 1st will start at 6:30, correct?
6:15.
6:15 on the
Mhm.
adoption, correct? too?
Because it has to be a separate meeting.
Okay.
So you want to know if we're going to be here?
Well,
I think she just told you you were.
She always tells me that's anyway. And I know this.
so because we have to have the budget adopted by November 1st. So,
I've already done it on the calendar, so that works for me.
Okay. all right. And then I don't know what you guys want to do. Want to do next? It doesn't matter to me. I can go and tell you what I found out about the park, if you'd like, real quick.
Which one have that part?
Well, for their budget for 2026, just some things that they were thinking about. One thing I questioned was if we were going to do anything with the caretakers' pay. I think it's been 20,000 for the year for a lot of years.
Do we have that on here somewhere?
What's that?
That you
The
said?
caretaker, yeah.
I don't think I sent. Well, it's probably on your appropriation, but they're not separated.
No, it's not.
No.
What do they do? Get an hourly wage? Or how do they do it?
So they get an amount for the season. Yeah. So,
It's like a contract.
and I don't know what you say they were getting about 32 hours a week,
32 hours a week.
and it goes
It was Jerry.
April
Jerry's
to
probably putting in- Jerry's definitely putting in more hours.
mhm,
So, park opens May the 1st
May 1st.
and runs till November 1st.
Okay. So something to keep in mind for that. Some of the things I talked to Diane today, and some of the things she said that they were looking at or thinking about for 2026. She said something about a 20 by 20 pavilion, which she said was 50 to 55,000 to be up by the splash pad area.
East of Splash Pad where they're talking about putting it.
Yeah. Right.
This fall, because the concrete and then the pillars are basically held up on that pavilion south of the circle by metal into the concrete. The posts have rotted off. I thought what we could do this fall in slow time, we could take a bucket truck down there, we could rip the metal off of it and do the demo work other than the concrete ourselves. So, but
Okay.
you trying to put a pavilion back in that area, it floods. It's just like they want to put their basketball goals all the way to the south end of the park. We talked about that. They're going to go, they have a donor that's going to flip the bill for the basketball court in the sum of about $38,000. It will be the asphalt laid down the same time as the street. Get paid this year.
And then they talked about maybe doing a parking lot kind of in that area south of that circle. Yeah. For,
Yeah, I would not put any stone in other than up around that horse ring. We do have a major flood, it's just a horse road.
right. So they talked about that. A walking trail, she mentioned. I didn't get details on, and she didn't have any estimate on any price on that. She did tell me the existing pavilion needs removed, maybe replaced with a parking lot. And then
Existing pavilion where?
South-
The ones- yeah.
South of the
circle, the
circle,
bathrooms.
the old bathrooms.
Oh,
It doesn't get rented out because of the concrete and it's not even breaking up there.
Yeah.
The electrical box would stay.
And then she said that something for the future that they'll have to be thinking about is replacing the existing pavilion. They're north of the cabin. She says it's very old and I don't know what shape it's in, but she sounded like that was north of the cabin.
Used to be all closed in.
Used to be all closed in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say north of the pavilion's the one that they're wanting to tear down.
Yeah, sorry. No.
so that would be the one that's right on the corner, that big one gets used a lot.
Probably, yeah, because it's the second biggest.
Used
I mean,
to
it's,
have walls all the way around it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Measure how much that's rented out.
she was just not 2026, but down the road, she said it's a very old building. And like I said, I don't know what shape it's in, but that was all that I had for the park. Just things to keep in mind. So let's go next.
What was the park kind of told that?
Well, she didn't. She didn't ask. So this year their budget was like 157,000. We put, as far as the taxes, the property taxes, 100,000 into their fund from that. So really they weren't fundable. They're not matching what they're bringing in and what they're putting, what they're putting out. I don't remember where they're at this year yet. If they don't spend all their money, then they won't be as bad. But if they spend everything they have budgeted, then their cash reserves are going to go down. But they have, their fund is, I don't have it, but they have a healthy balance in their fund.
They still do?
Is that the unexpended balance you're talking about?
No, because that is by, let me look at the fund here. The park. Right now, $512,699
That's what they've got?
Yeah.
Can you tell me
as
that?
of June 30th.
512,699.
They'll still get their December settlement too.
pickleball court will be coming out.
right?
Bowser's IT.
Which is like 9,000. The pickleball, I forget what she told me how much that was. They had it in their current appropriations, so they would spend that, and they're probably going to spend the majority of their budget, I would think, by the time they're done, especially if we could find the money for the basketball goals. Yeah. So that'll probably be about $50,000 less next year if they spend everything. So just to give you an idea. Any other questions on the part?
Explain to me, because I'm not real smart on this.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me the $512,000 they got as an empty balance right now.
So that's currently what's in their fund.
That's in their fund. They
Yes.
can spend all of that.
No. They can only spend what's appropriated.
What's appropriate.
Yes. So whatever's remaining in their appropriations,
What fund number is that?
2204.
I'll come on here. It says 157,450. They have maybe 4,000.
That's their appropriation. So that is it telling you the unexpended on that 94?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So the 157 is their 2025 budget, what they were budgeted, and then that unexpended is telling you what they haven't spent yet. But they are allowed to spend it this year.
Okay. But you said 500,000.
No, that's what they have in their fund. So they have their own fund within our general fund.
Okay.
Their money is kept separate from our money. It's not. It's in the same account, but
So
it's
basically, their
accounted
2204 is the town's fund for the park.
correct. It's all in our general fund. Yeah, it's all in one bank, but it's separated by funds.
But they've only got 157,000 of that 513 appropriated for this
So they've
year.
already spent what 60,000 of it.
60,000.
yeah.
62,606.
Yeah. So then that is giving
That
them.
way, if something would happen, we wouldn't get the tax money, then that backs up the budget.
Right. Yeah. So that's why you want to have the cash reserves. So if there's a delay or heaven forbid, you don't get them, then that's what you would use your cash reserve for. Or if there's a large purchase they need to make, that's another thing you could start saving cash reserves for. Yeah. But that's why they're suggested to have 50% because they only get disbursement twice a year. And if you'll see, like what I sent you, their projected miscellaneous revenue was only like 18,000. So with, without the tax money, that does include their light money that they got to redo the ball field from the insurance in 2024. So I think that's what really boosted. I mean, they've had a healthy account anyways, but I think that really boosted them. Yeah. And they used to get a lot more too from the taxes. So yeah. So, yep. Any other questions?
We'll get your shell answer. Cow.
So,
And are we gonna have to cut some budgets this year?
if you look, we normally don't spend what we have budgeted. So I think we're going to be okay as far as that goes. We've always budgeted more than what we've spent, and some of them by quite a bit. So I don't think that we have to cut them yet. I think we should definitely keep an eye on it and watch. The main things is the general, the motor vehicle, and the park are the big ones that. So there were some things I was looking at, like if we're not using all the money, like there's one line item we have, I think 50,000 budgeted, and I think we've spent like just, this is from my memory, so it's probably not correct, but I think we spent like 13,000 this year or something. You know, it's, so things like that, we can reduce a lot. And then you'll see there's some salary lines that we don't use. You know, so I don't know why those were put in there. I would like to consolidate the labor one instead of having it split out by wastewater plant operator and the laborers. I want to just put their amount together. Just do it that way. We have one on there for what, the plant supervisor, I think. I'm sorry, general superintendent. So those are ones where I'm able to move money if we run short. So like with the fire, with the increase that they received last year, we didn't know it at the time when we did the budget. So I didn't budget enough for that. So I had to just take money from other 100 lines, the 100 departments, to get as much as what we needed in each line to make sure we have that at the end of the year to pay it. So there was enough in there to move around for that. But
Do we have any areas that we have money budgeted that we need to look at spending some money, equipment, that sort of thing?
we don't have to spend anything.
That's not.
Let's see,
not
let's
my
No, but
question.
see, we don't lose it.
But see, that's you say we don't have to spend it, but at some point in time, you're gonna say, hey, you're not spending this stuff, you really need to use it. So,
But with our cash reserves, I mean, the DLGF suggested 35% for our MBH and general fund. And then they suggested 50% for the park. And on that sheet I sent you there, we're nowhere near having that much from our operating to what we bring in. So
there's just so much that we've got to do to get back to where we should be. You know, I was talking to Roger, you know, I was following the Rensselaer dump truck today, town of Rensselaer, and we need to be doing what they're doing, right? They've got a sack of leaves, or it wasn't leaves, it looked like flower clippings along the side of the road. They come in, they scoop it up, they put it in the dump truck. They're not bagged, they're not. The elderly, man, I'm telling you.
What I was gonna bring up the last board meeting, we're gonna continue with that. We need to work towards paper bags and take the Vital Town different. But I'm just I'm just as good with, if you put your grass clippings or you put your stuff out there on the curb, where you take the skid steer, bring it right into the bucket and dump it in the dump truck. That's good too. Because it's stupid to pick up plastic bags.
Rip
You
them
have
as
to
you
take
toss
them
them.
up there, and then you have to take a razor knife, cut them open and dump them.
Get rid of
Buy
them.
this off your butt.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's counterproductive to do that. It's not cost efficient either.
There's one gal down, the radio gal down by you guys, she puts hers out in the trash can. And that's just.
Is that an option?
To me, I mean.
You
That would
just
be
said
the
that,
thing.
and they come by and get it.
Come by it and just dump it right into the dump truck. Because
And-
I had one employee complaining about it, but it's like, what are you complaining for?
You're a
You
labor.
pick it up, you dump it down, and you're done. You're done with it. So, yeah, I mean, as long as you keep it in that 40-pound
Well,
thing.
even so, they're, if it's a pile instead of that,
It's a
then
pile
you're just throwing it in there.
You're just
And
raking
listen,
it down.
The person that was doing the shoveling, putting it in the back of the dump truck over there, was a female. I'm not saying it's any, I mean, she was out there. I mean, we don't have the equipment right now for leaves, but I mean, those things only cost $24,000 for a setup.
I think down the road, if we go back, because the way I'm doing it now with Steve being the only summer help guy,
mhm.
we could run him with a school crossing and continue and you're doing leaves for 2 months, you're sucking them up, they're gone. Because there's a lot, that just doesn't, people don't do it, they just don't do it like they used to.
That
What
gets me
happens
back.
if they get wet?
If they get wet,
You pull the skid steer up, put them in the skid steer.
yeah,
and dump it in
most
the dump
of
truck.
the time, even the old one we had, which was a homemade relic, because I used to help back on it and do it.
A little bit
it'd
longer.
suck it up. It just takes a little longer. Man, but if you put them on the road, they drain pretty quick. The only thing it ever gave it, if you got a stick or something, you have to pull out, put the stick off to the side. Something on the sticks. Getting back, I think with the demographics in town, the elderly people, I think you get more people coming here. It's easy to take it.
Gets me back to the equipment I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What can we get? And I agree.
They make those down in
Cosmetic-
Corntown, and they
It's a cosmetic thing. It's good for
Yeah,
the
one
community.
of the things we have to figure out, Brad hasn't figured it out yet, is
Right.
what our payment on pickups are.
Yeah.
Each year too, so we'll have that.
Yep.
each year, it's gonna be monthly or.
It'll be yearly. I think they're annually.
You can do it, I think there were several different options. I think you can do it monthly, you can do it quarterly.
Quarterly.
I think quarterly would be a good one in that way.
Yeah.
I would hate to be a first shoes and do it monthly.
Even though then I wouldn't forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it every month.
They won't let you forget.
Yeah.
When is that coming in?
Brad didn't say, right now we have the service truck up there. I got $400 and some worth of parts coming for it. Basically, the cab bushings need replaced on it. They can't hear the sound they are. That's cab bushings. So about $400 and some in parts, about 5 to 6 hours labor change.
Since you talked about MVH. So one thing that was mentioned at a previous meeting was increasing the stone amount.
Some of these alleys, it's not like it used to be. If you got a car or two go down an alley in a week's time, you're lucky. But we have a lot of people now, and a lot of people behind.
Mm-hmm.
So stone is, I think we need to take the alleys better.
That's what
Do
you
we have an
outlined.
idea of how much we might want to increase that to?
I haven't looked at the prices. So what do we have in there right now?
Not very much.
Not very much.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff we get for patching, for patching the road, water mains and stuff.
Right.
What makes an alley an alley?
It's plotted as an alley. Like his, there is an alley, but it's not a used alley, it's all grass. But
That's what I'm talking
It's
about.
just easy.
it's some are easements, some are alleys. It just depends. on
So you
how
can't
they're
use, they're not usable?
plotted. The ones,
Say like pins.
power company,
You just go
and
with the
anything
one,
in
one,
that
one.
right.
But
away.
it's a zigzag.
But
It's not a
we
straight
have
shot.
we have a sewer line runs through there.
Mhm.
So,
So nobody can use.
no,
Well,
so-
it's. I say it's
So,
a,
like the one behind Dillman's.
yeah.
but it's a
that-
public right
same-
away, right?
That's the same one that goes down behind kids.
No, it's not. Kids is on the other street.
No. That's right. Yeah, no, that one, I can tell you definitely, even the utility trucks have a time navigating that.
You can't get through the one behind my house either because there's a pool in it.
Really?
Yeah, Queensbar's pool is right in the easement. You can't get a truck down through it.
Well, it looks like somebody go down there, there's people there's tracks there, so there's somebody.
Dillman's do go to behind their house.
Yeah.
That's about as far as it goes. But you can go any farther down.
But you just said you can't do that.
Well, you can, I don't think there's anything that keeps them using.
I don't think so
But
either.
they're the ones that
It's supposed to be a public right of way.
Or an easement. They mow it. Usually what happens is one half of the easement, the other half, they mow it.
Biggest part with the easements on those 2 blocks and you can't get down through.
Yeah, they
Because
just,
there's sheds or there's pools that are so close, you can't get down through.
Couple
Right.
places.
I was just asking.
Because
yeah.
I had a water.
I was looking
situation
at putting a garage
one time on Holly Street, and Dave Scott.
The only thing would be
He
is
had to
if,
come in through the yard.
utilities need to do their own garage.
Yeah.
The garage was gonna be on my property, but I would have I would have access on through the alley.
That was never. I'd have to-
What could stop somebody, what would stop me from turning on 16 and going that alley and using it all the time for a garage, or the opposite end?
Nothing, as long as there's not buildings in the way.
You can get to.
as long as you get along.
I don't think you'll get through from my end, because I think where Haynes live, that fence.
Why can't they do that if it's an easement?
Well, they're not
But if it
supposed to,
doesn't- well, that's
but
what I'm saying. I mean, you
I
could
mean,
Yeah.
I
probably,
would push it.
you could probably get them
Yeah.
stuff tore down, even like the pool. Shame on them people.
Well, I'm telling you right now, if NIPSCO need to come through there and there's something in the way, they
Mhm.
They'll move it. They'll move it.
they'll move it.
I get it. I was just asking,
Yeah.
Right.
because I'd want to, trying to find a company that would actually move my shed and get it out.
I mean, you have to check the plat to make sure, but I'm sure
see
there's,
what
yeah,
is.
that there's something platted there, but
Easements might be a little bit narrower than an actual alley too. on the
Yeah,
bottom.
easements usually are a lot of 10 feet.
Yeah.
now an easement, can they drive down an easement or does it have to be like an
I
alley?
don't think
Yeah.
Easements usually just for utilities.
Yeah, right.
I was told that the areas on between you and I and the one like Kurt, they are alleys, but nobody ever uses it.
they just never done it.
Because I've checked into it.
Which was a smart. What's that?
Uh,
It was a smart thing.
the MVH, the stone, we have 1,500.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, they pay at least 5,000 or 6,000.
Just take it off the stone to at least crumple it.
Yeah.
And maybe more. 'Cause
Right.
That's just not much stuff.
Yeah, it used to be, you know, if you had a place, you had an alley behind you, each homeowner was, hey, we don't maintain alleys, you guys gotta get your own stone and stuff, but we've surpassed those days. It's, you know, we plow them in the winter time because people need to get in the house. We don't have all that.
Right.
Right below the stone, you have sand and stone too. So how much sand do you go through in a year?
We got,
Okay.
we got sand twice this year. Once we had to get it from, AJ Goodwine hauled it from
Well-
IMI.
That's for our leaks, right? Yeah. So those I've been taking, well, I believe. Yeah. So this I figured was for when we do when we salt the roads, that type.
Yeah. And probably once we use this sand and talk to some guys, we're gonna probably go with that small pea gravel because you can't put limestone on the pipes because it'll eat them up. So we use sand, but if you use the pea gravel, then you don't have the settlement issues you can turn around. Because like the one down there on Pat Pond Drift, that was a service tap that popped out and we had to get it put back in there. That's not very deep, so that's gonna get, our patches will get asphalted. That will definitely need asphalt before winter. So that might actually have to work for us.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're paying for the sand out of the water account,
Right.
can we just get rid of the sand and stone and combine it into the stone, take that 800 and add into it?
So do we ever we buy salt? That's what I paid out of here. We buy salt for the winter time, and that's what I Yeah.
The salt comes-
I guess it's not labeled salt, but that's what I've used it for. That's what that $500 and some dollars that's been spent out of there has been for.
been
but the
stretched
amount
out.
that's been budgeted has been fine. So
The calendar's been stretched out as far as the ice and salting, so yeah. we're gonna go.
Well, just.
Well, it's
we
going
can
further
keep
too.
all The roads, we don't have that packed down stuff. Just so you guys know, the number that was given to me today is 406,000 gallons of water.
for the fire,
That's all.
well, that's good to know.
What's the water tower?
One holds 180 and one holds 150.
Yeah.
When we hit 30, we decided it was time to start trucking water from someplace else. I made a phone call to Vanguard. We sucked out of the quarry. We are actually going. I went and looked yesterday with Dick Randall down there, and I'll have a meeting coming up. I'll let you know when. Did you guys you get any feedback from the tankers where they loaded?
I think we ended up having to float one off the boat ramp for the dry. They couldn't get the dry hydrant to work.
Yeah.
They had to do it off the boat ramp. So,
How many fish got sucked up?
did they try off of that catwalk?
I think they tried, there's a dry hydrant over there.
There's two of them right beside each other.
Yeah, they couldn't get that, so then they ended up just basically backing down the boat. And
Where's the dry hydrant?
They were one's up towards the building.
The only two hydrants that I know, there's like a pump house out there. I thought there's two out there.
Where they pump the water out from the quarry for the
Wash bay.
wash bay. That is not very far drop. It looked like to us, the exhaust off the engine ran there and it looked like they had a hose over the edge. of it.
Unless they moved again.
Because my thought is, it's not a whole lot of money for the piping and the connector and the grate to go on the end of the pipe. And we could put a dry hydrant right there and we could draw. That's just money ahead for Vanguard, money ahead for us because that's a good source of
Well,
water.
I look at it, I thought there was dry hydrant out there, they were supposed to get, there used to be one. I thought it was just north of the boat.
No, there's no hydrant.
No. Well, there's,
That's the old pipes that came, that when they pumped out and into the ditch along the railroad tracks. And that, but that's definitely too high. If you don't, 20 feet's the max you want to draw.
are you talking the boat ramp on the west side that faces the train tracks? There is a hydrant to the north of that, but it's where the drive cuts back. But that one's on the water. main,
That's
so.
the one. Yeah, as far as I know, there's not a single hydrant down there. So, right.
Yeah, give me a rope in that.
Yeah. That's, we were getting to the point we had to call it and start hauling water.
So
It's awful boil over.
Yeah, Rensselaer Dairy we get 20 tankers. And tanker 9 through.
You telling me today that Monticello's aerial
186,000.
186,000 Monticello aerial. We didn't have access to those two aerials.
Absolutely. Or they excavated.
Yeah, or they, BJ excavated. John did knock down one of the streetscape lights.
It was never wired.
Well, you know what? Yesterday when NIPSCO was digging, they hit an orange did. That was hot. So when Lyle gets back, has to look at them. And we pulled the thing off of those, even those two lights that never worked. We're pretty sure that's the wiring, and it was hot.
Probably.
So,
Those two were never wired up.
yeah. So,
I gotta tell them, you know.
there's a flower pot under there too.
Did you have anything else for MVH?
Does NVH cover fire trucks too?
No, that's our general.
That's out the general.
Yeah.
That's out here.
What's the extra labor under that?
What is that?
Yeah, there's, I thought I saw extra labor.
You do.
That would be-
Oh, under MVH?
Yeah.
Oh, labor. So
extra labor.
each, oh, extra labor?
Yep,
Well, I don't know. We haven't used it.
let's see, yeah. Fund number 2201.
Yeah. 16 or
down. 7,500.
yeah,
And we
117.
haven't touched it.
No.
And what's the one, oh, street sweep.
And I don't know what that one's for.
We got paid by the state, what, once, twice a year? something
But
like
we
that?
get paid. We don't pay them.
Yeah, so what's that in there for?
I don't know. Yeah.
Street sweep home.
I wonder if that paid the overtime for sweep on you, because they used to sweep Thursday nights.
Okay.
If that paid the overtime. And I thought you had to take salaries. You had to do away with those in the
No, there's still salaries in MVH. Yeah. So
Have we not got a bill for the gas?
for gas,
Yeah, 'cause gasoline, there's nothing to use in that either, it looks like.
Well, we don't, if it's street sweep.
Yeah.
we won't have street sweep.
no.
No, the other line. Sorry,
So I
I'm
don't
looking
believe
for-
that we have. So we usually get our gas bills for the police, the fire department, the park, and the wastewater treatment plant. No, they're all separate.
Oh,
But we don't. We also have a general line. So I was going to reduce it to 1,000. I don't know why we need to have it. Right now I think it's 3 in the general.
Yeah.
And I really haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't really looked at MVH or those yet. I've been focusing on the general account. But yeah. So I didn't realize that was there too. But I mean, we could always, if we wanted to, take some from like the way probably when they probably fill the street trucks at the wastewater.
yeah. You pay
Plant.
out of it.
I mean, we could split it and
Yeah, 'cause it's the skids for now. They use for it, so.
right. Yeah. So we could do that. And we could also take some out of general if we wanted to. That would just help our wastewater and water accounts to not be used as much. But which those have like a cash reserve of I think 5 and 6%. Very low. So
Or it was nice.
do you have anything?
Fire department.
Okay.
Okay, the fire department, you're,
One of the things I just wanted to bring up was trucks. Trucks are starting to be about 5 years out now for a new fire truck. I know when N6 was bought, they wanted to keep it 20 years. That way they would still resell. We can still trade them, still get something out of it. That's coming up in about 5 years. So I didn't know if we could start a fund for a truck. Eventually, we would like to get rid of Squad 8. And we got rid of Squad 7. Squad 8, we'd like to try to turn it into a multi-purpose truck. We got rid of 7, we'll get rid of 8. We'll get a rescue brush truck. It won't hold as much water because right now it holds 500 gallons and it's very, very heavy. But it's something, I mean, we'd like to get it maybe for the start looking into. But I don't even know if we even have anything started. Because these trucks are cheap.
I can tell you, the last time I looked in the township, we got about 130 or 38,000 in the cumulative fire department.
So I didn't know if we could start setting money aside for that in the town.
Mm-hmm.
For something of that nature, because we are going to have to do it pretty quick if we want to replace something.
looks like,
I think you have a bigger problem. You don't have room for this stuff
So
as they keep getting bigger.
that was going to be my next question. I know we had brought up the station before. I didn't know if we would start something with that. Start setting money aside for it. And start looking. We'll have money set aside. Then you can start looking into it more with the Red Cross, with the shelter, you know, all the grants. The federal grants are drying up. There's none out. And it looks like this at the state level, they're going to be doing the same thing. Because with all the cuts that they're doing, they're going to have to offer the grants free. I was talking to Mike Hill about it, and we were just bouncing stuff off. Look, they're drying up fast. The federal government just doesn't want to be like money. So then that can change in 4 years, you know. But so those are the two big purchases that I think we need to start addressing now for the future. If we can set, like you said, some type of renewable fund or something. I don't know how this all works.
And I'll have to find out.
Yeah, now we can start putting it in there.
Right.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm sure the counties somehow can help out with some type of building because they're, you know, where they're putting different stations and, you know, I hate to say it, but at some point in time, the 2 people at each station is going to be 4 people. They're going to be a first out rescue or a first out attacking people. It's
So-
just,
In talking with Smallwood, his plan over the next couple of years, for one, they wanted to start putting townships together. The state doesn't like township because the state doesn't antiquated. The state going to count. So right now they're not telling them to do it, but they encourage them to start joining townships together. But the only way that can be initiated is if the townships start initiating it and have some kind of agreement drawn up between the two. But within the next couple of years, more likely we're going to start seeing townships. Especially if the state starts getting more involved. Small was talking like, you know, they wanted 3 townships in one county. Well, they have 3 commissioners. Well, you can't, they found out you can't do that because it splits right down both offices. So they were trying to figure out, a couple of them was like, Cass Township. And they're both over there by Buffalo.
Your eastern townships have,
They have no fire departments, they have nothing, you know, but they still get their township money. So that was one of the things they were looking at. Maybe you could take those counties and before we could do a different township. But there was a lady that they did 3 of them down south. They were all in a row. They merged them. They kept the fire departments, but the middle department became a paid department. So the 2 outside ones they kept, it's all under one umbrella now. The volunteers are out here and they had a paid crew. Start looking at paid crew. That's a lot. The other thing they were talking about, he's talking about districts. The state actually kind of looked at districts too. So with the problem you have finding volunteers, it's not just moment. There's nothing that entices volunteers anymore. They've gone in the days where you get every now and then you get a couple of my boys on. But for the most part, people, that's all what's in it for. So they talked about districts. The problem with the districts is that they would, like essentially they would take Buffalo and Monroe, and then they would put a station between us. Well, where are all your firefighters right now? Most of them are, you know, on the outside coming in. That's going to put you farther away from the station. So that was one of the things that they were trying to discuss is how do you get people closer to the station without paying. Because the volunteers actually save Indiana. I think it was in
oh, I'm sure.
just in local governments and stuff like that. It saves Indiana just not the local government per year is what happens. So, but with our, you know, with eventually we are going to need a station because, like Jamie said, all the equipment's getting bigger, it's getting longer. It's getting more technical. They're trying to make things lower and longer versus shorter and taller because of stability, roadways and stuff like that. You're starting to see a prime example with this one. Francisville has AJ21 that is on their fire department. He also has a little gas and maintenance. That's what they would call.
What trailer did they bring that up here?
He's
You got
he's got a little.
That's what I'm saying.
Calvert trailer.
Okay. Just making sure.
I don't know what it is. I didn't see the
Calvert.
trailers.
It was in front of my house. It's Calvert.
But I mean, without that excavator and those two aerials, we could have lost that whole block.
Yeah.
I mean, quick. That fire moved fast in the little buildings. So I mean, with the group that we had there, I thought everybody did a phenomenal job. We all worked together real well. Roger helped out a bunch on the radio, so I didn't have to. With it, light towers coming. Keel was there for me today. Getting light towers coming.
Mike brought his command center.
They brought the command center. I mean,
Carroll County sent a light tower up from their evening.
so
I tried to keep it.
yeah, they wouldn't let me keep it either. So, and that's another thing. Idaho brought their light towers. They have light towers. So that's one thing we need to also remember is there's only one light tower in the county. That's in it. And Idaho has two, which we can call them at any time and bring it. That gets you good. We get four of it this. We got Carroll County. Carroll County, bring theirs. We basically just four. Yeah, and we probably could have used at least one or two more. Because when it started getting dark, we had it all power shut down. So there was no light in that downtown area.
13 acre seat, about 9 guys.
About 100. 3 counties. 4 if you count Carroll County's light tower. But so I mean that's just something, that new station, if it's something that we need to start appropriating money for. Trucks, we need to start appropriating money for. Everything is getting more expensive. I mean, I think what was in 6 months, about 385,000, I think. You ain't got to touch it for that.
But
And there's nothing wrong with 6, really.
Right, and that's the thing, you've got to decide, right? My gal, we had the engine 6 that we had, it was, I don't know how old it was a great truck. But, you can't buy the trucks that buy the building, right? So, like you said, the first year, we've got to look at a station. I made mention to you and Kyle, and Kyle's the one that mentioned maybe, I don't remember. But the land between
The
Quarry and Greenwood or Greenfield or whatever,
Greenwood, where
the lady said that they donated to us.
she can't get a hold of.
Okay, well,
I think she is.
She is. She passed away.
So
I don't remember what family. I don't know which family has control of it now. She passed.
so we just, I mean, that's your first step, right?
well,
Is it a no? Is it a yes?
yeah, yes and no on the first step with the land because some of the stuff in the states that do still have some of the stuff for it with your county, your first aid and stuff like that. You can't actually have the land. You can only have the land for so much time before. So you have to have basically a promissory note that yes, here's your land. Here's how much it's going to cost. I can't buy it yet.
But who can't buy it? The town can't buy it, the township can't buy it, the fire department.
If you're going to go for a grant through the state because the guy crashed out here one time, we were talking about it, that is in charge of doing that. You want to get the option to purchase, but do not purchase the ground because once you purchase it, you've got X amount of months to have all your grant stuff done, or it won't count towards your part of the grant.
The grant part.
So you just get an option.
That's the promissory note.
Okay,
So
that,
if we,
so I put it back on you guys. Okay. We've got to get this done. We keep talking about it. We need to go to the commissioners and say, hey, what can we do? Because they're part of this building down here. And if we build something bigger and better, we have to plan for expansion for them. Because I promise you, you're going to have probably at least 6 firefighters, paramedics, EMTs at every station. We already have our third station.
Yeah, Ferguson's got their
You know,
station up
you get, once you get somebody retires or passes away, you'll have a fourth station.
there.
They've got the excess money from the windmills and the whatever plants. If they're looking at another plant, I mean, there's going to be money coming in.
Correct, and that's what I'm asking right now, is can we start appropriation and get approval? Or, because I'm not gonna do the talking if I don't have somebody saying that, yes, we can back and I can afford.
Well, there's always, bonds and loans and whatever. And
There's all kinds of stuff you can do.
Yeah.
But why go through the time if,
Free.
yeah, why go through the time if I go through all the time and then I come up and be like, hey, guess what? Surprise, here's everything. What I'm saying is can we start something like this and get approval to start looking into this? And I'll do the legwork. That's not the problem. But I don't want to do it and then, in a couple of years, all of a sudden it'd be, yeah, we're not going to do that now. And it's like,
things change.
The problem is though, I don't have any idea of how much that looks like
I talked to a guy that put a station
to see
up
where, yeah.
down south. We ran into each other. I can't remember where we were at. I think we were at Pastor Place. He had the same issue because, like James, like, well, we got to start. He was the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And they started, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, stop. The station didn't go on the ground they purchased. They had to purchase other stuff, grain. And he goes, how much money for sale?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And by the time it was all said and done, he was in $3.2 million for a fire station.
I figured 3.5.
So, and that was no freedom.
I'd say you're both cheaper than what I thought, because when I looked at the numbers, we were over 4. But I think my opinion is we need to look at the land, see what kind of obligation we can get. Okay, are we going to get this, and what's it going to cost us? So once we know that we've got that secured, we can always negotiate about where it's going.
Well, that's the biggest thing.
We can't get grants for a building and building the sky.
Well, and I know at one time Jacob had the guy over there on the other side of the switch between Hutchins and Edwards. That there's a little spot right there that they said that we could be able to purchase. I don't know if that's still available.
You don't want that.
That's-
I've seen that here.
It flooded.
We've had
Everything comes off Browns Hill, comes to that.
It
we've
flooded.
had water issues out there.
But what I'm
and
saying is,
there's no
is there other
expansion.
places out there like that that we don't know about? They had said something in the past, like the one that Kyle said out here on 16. He was trying to get a hold of her last year, beginning of this year. Can't get a hold back. Well, if she did, that's probably why.
She's from California.
She originally from here, it was a land transfer from California to here because the developer out there wanted that land. And so they did a land swap. It was Art Anderson. So you get a hold of Art Anderson, he can tell you who to contact. for
Who's
that
got it
farm is now. It's still in the family, but what branch of that Anderson family? I think there might be a son or a nephew or something that's in charge.
They might not be as willing to give it away either at that point. You never know.
You never know.
But we have to look at the area for expansion beyond that. And that's what, when we talked before about that touching Cades area out there, not only was it low ground and water problems, but it's not very good.
I think we probably need, I'd have to look, we probably need at least 10 or 15 acres. In order, because you have to be set back so far off the road. You can't, there's all kinds of stuff.
Well, again, looking ahead, what we talked about, when Jim's here, we're talking about expansion period. And when I say we, I'm talking about Ford is back in the 40s, 50s here, even in the 60s. They've kept us from growing, expanding. And we're talking about the extra stations, townships, consolidating. Okay, now how big is that going to need to be? So what we don't want to do is put our future people here in a position, okay, we got this fire station like we've got, now we need a bigger one. well, in 20 years or 25 years, they're going to need a bigger one than that.
Like,
Let's set it up so they can make that facility bigger.
like Jamie and I talked about it 6 to 8, right?
Hell, Rensselaer's got 6 bays on that new one over there, and they're already talking about something. And they're captive, kind of like we're talking about. They really got nowhere to go. No. And guess what they're whispering about? Oh, we're going to have to go somewhere else to build a bigger building. We're not talking about Cracker Jacks at that point. You know, we're talking about multi-millions of dollars.
So, going back to, I mean, if it's something that we start looking into, if it's something that we can get back. That's in the future.
Don't you think we have to look at it? Because there's no doubt in any of our minds, I don't think, that we're going to have to bite that bullet at some point. We've been talking about it several years that I've been on the board. But I just don't want to say, okay, we've secured this and be like Rensselaer is right now. You know, they're going to end up getting bit in the south end, and they've got a bunch of new money soaked into that place. And it's a nice facility.
And smoothie for the big.
Yeah, it's not big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I have no problem going ahead and checking things out.
I'll try to see what I can find, or what I can get as far as what we could do for funding on our side. To talk about at a future meeting. We could probably be September, but
Because I will be having the same meeting with Jacob. Get him in and see what his ideas are, see what he had in the past. Stuff like that. So, 'cause I know-
Sean, does the state require you to place the trucks every so many years? You have to replace.
as long as they pass the inspection, which we are, I told Monticello our trucks will be going to pump checks in September. We'll be taking 2 Monticello to get the pump check. As long as everything passes in there, inspecting everything, then you can have a 50-year-old truck. That's going to pass it. That's not good sense.
I can tell you, you used your new valves the other day.
They work good, do they?
Or sometime this week, that corner hydrant will be fixed, so you don't have to take the wrench on and off to get it open.
We don't have to worry about it. You can go finish, but
Did you cut it off today?
no, we knocked it over yesterday.
Yes, knocked it over yesterday.
One of the guys grabbed and hold it. Hold it back far enough that we could work it.
Yeah, one of the corner posts that were put up over the years, concrete put down, and you couldn't take the wrench and go around with it. You had to pop it back and forth.
Okay, but
Yep.
the third time we were down here, that first year.
And we put the new valves and new hose to work.
again, just as simple as not looking ahead. And I really overemphasize that to us a bunch, but we're where we're at because we have people that just did not look to the future. I think that's why we're here. Want to cover somebody's butt, probably when we're all gone.
I'd say go ahead, Sean. That's my opinion.
I said, please.
If it's hard to legwork, I would support that.
I don't have a vote on it, but I support it.
okay, I'll see what I can get together, see what I can find out.
The only other thing, I mean, as equipment wise, I mean, I don't see any big purchases coming up going next year. Except for, we got that radio. It was voted on in the last meeting. We have another fundraiser going on. Pictures. There's a company that came in with the pictures. Everybody should be getting something. So we were originally going to stop on funding. We were trying to get the radios, the membership, trying to incorporate this one to try to get some more money in there. So the cost of just 5 radios is $25,000. That's what the program is. extra battery. Right now, we have about $6,200 that we've got from the business. We're hoping to get another at least 6,000 from this next thing. That way, it would go towards the radios. We would actually count split the other half. So we would put in our 12,000. Hopefully, it's what we're going to get. But then the other half of that, town township is split. So you guys will probably start seeing that in the mail. Everybody, it goes to everybody.
Everyone in the township, right?
For everybody in the township.
Yeah. Everybody and outside of the township,
In certain areas.
in certain areas,
So,
like lake,
yeah,
both sides of the lake and stuff like that.
both sides of 500. The thing about this is, of course, the fire department pays for the postage and the return stamps and all that stuff. But there's a clause in their contract. So, for instance, if they send out a recent mail, it's like $2,200, $1,600. If we only, for some reason, only got in $500 for the donation, we don't have to pay them. We give them the $500. They still come and take pictures going on those. So
Kind of a no-brainer.
it was pretty easy for us.
I still think the conversation that you and I had, there's money out there in the township.
Yeah.
I think you need to have a conversation with the group and have a come to Jesus meeting, really.
Yeah.
Because I think it'll go a long way. So I think it will.
That's all I got.
Is that all?
So your fire department equipment, we want to keep that at least where it's at, this year? which was 11,000.
We have some small things that we're gonna be buying.
We don't want to budget what we want to save back, obviously, because then that looks like we're going to spend it. But
Because, well, the gear came out, that was.
yeah, 68 something. Yeah.
I mean, just a small thing.
Oh, it's 68.18, I bet.
Did we take care of the hose? And
Yeah, that was out of our ARPA money.
Hose is all done, the valve, we got the valve on one side.
What about another, maybe Fred making one? You guys didn't, because I know you were having to really double up on your hose rack the other day.
Yeah, we're taking.
And didn't we talk?
We may end up buying one, but we were trying to see if we could get some modifications.
Didn't we talk about extra valves or something?
We got
We got
those. There's
Yeah,
another
that-
set for the other side.
We
of
already
the
got
truck,
it. Okay.
but we don't have the ones for the other side of the truck yet. But
Maybe that's what I'm thinking we
yeah,
talked
that
about.
was gonna be set for in the future. We got the ones for the driver's side, we're assigning these valves. Most of the time, we pump off the driver's side. Passenger side also has the same ones. So we talked about putting valves on each side of it, on each side of it. So, but I mean, I'm kind of at that situation. We've got the two. We've used them twice. We've got them in here. Open on the driver's side. So
We still got half the town hadn't burnt down, so
yeah,
you know, we might want to save the other half.
yeah,
Yeah, but for the most part, when you're pumping out a fire,
it's off the drive.
it's off that side because that's the side that the operator's going to use. And, you know, that operator positions yourself that way anyway.
If at any time you can pump off the driver's side, because that's what all
Everything.
Most of your lines come off the driver's side, and you got full range off the driver's side. Your suction, everything is right there. If you have to, you can pump off the passenger. It's just basic.
I was on the south side of the east side, where the Ransomware and Tappan Road. Did they
Across
cross?
Fifth, that's why 420 was shut down.
Yeah. 'Cause that's-
Buffalo was on Fifth and Railroad, and they were on Fifth and 421. That's why
And then you guys down here on.
we were right on the corner.
So,
And we were out of Hackers.
we were out of.
The next one was 2 blocks away. And that's why we started dumping papers. So,
Annette, when do we, bring that line, like a pay raise for the fire, volunteer fire?
That's in our contract.
We
So,
would discuss that with the contract.
yeah, yep. That's when we do that amount.
'Cause
Kind of like this year, you guys did the EMT, you
Uh-huh.
raised them.
I definitely want to see the fire raise.
I got to sustain that. Though.
Yep.
I have no problem. Yep.
Right now, it's $10 per run from the town and $10 from the township.
I don't like.
$10 if it's a town run. or
Oh.
$10 if it's a town
Oh,
Always get
It's the
But you only
meetings you get both.
paid If it comes through.
for meetings though, don't you?
meetings.
Okay,
You
All
only
right.
get paid if it comes through dispatch, right?
So yes, if it comes through dispatch, it comes through the precinct. So like yesterday, we had the 2 hotspots and Roger texted me on one, I went up and looked at it, I paced everybody out. I consider that getting called out.
It's a big law,
It would have been logged in the cab. So it'll be logged, just like the other one will be logged.
Yeah.
We'll have reports.
Anytime that fire truck goes out and you're in it, you ought to be paid.
That everyone will be. It's just, I didn't, it's kind of a pride thing. I didn't want to call dispatch and say, hey, we're thrown out because we're going back to a region. You know, because then everybody in the county hears it and it's kind of a, you know,
do as much rubble as buried over there.
I know, but I am, we've only been there twice for a region. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
I saw.
I have been too, to be honest with you. I thought we'd get both back. Because you don't know what's underneath when you start there. So, but yeah, there are reports made for those 2 that we got paid.
Well, with that contract, I would like to see more money paid for volunteer fire department. I know Kyle said, well, some don't. Volunteers don't get paid at all. I don't care about that. People like to care about people there. Now, to go 15 hours or whatever you work, you get $10.
You know, I turned around and I'm shocked to see Nate Evans.
He came over from Bachelor.
Yeah,
He got permission from his chief.
his chief even told him, I'll take a truck if you need one.
John, how much will the other departments charge? Because I know, Monticello has mobile trucks.
Yeah, so per the mutual aid agreement that we signed, we shouldn't have anything for the mutual aid.
Okay,
So
so,
the only thing that we will have is if equipment was damaged.
pardon?
Equipment was damaged. And I did get a call from Reynolds that they have 2 masts and that have, they're blacked over from, they don't know if it's fat because they were in the back doors or what it is, but they can't get it off. And then the only other charge we should have is the excavator. And that should all get, unfortunately, it's all gonna get passed to the insurance.
Will the fire department be creating some type of invoice for the insurance company for that?
We're gonna have to, because the excavator will actually charge us. And we'll have to, I gotta figure out how to do it. We have to send an invoice either to Josh, I don't know if it can be direct, because Josh didn't call the excavator, the fire department did. So.
The way we used to do it in the past is we invoiced, got the insurance and actually invoiced Mona Meats or the owner.
The owner.
And
So, yeah, I'm waiting. I gotta get the bill for the excavators. I gotta do that. And then Grover was sending those masks out. He was wondering if we had anything or if anybody else had anything, try to send them all together. That way we can kind of cut down on some of it, which we don't have anything. And from the other departments I've talked to, they don't have it.
wouldn't Reynolds have insurance on that though?
They would have insurance, but with the mutual aid agreement, there's always going to be, whatever department you went in, you get stuff. And he asked if we were having the insurance. Well, I would really like to keep off the insurance. Figure it out that way. because I think, I mean, it's eventually, the insurance is gonna be the same way. I mean, if I put an insurance claim on his two masks, they're just gonna put it right back on the line. It's insurance. So if I can do it that way, keep the middleman out of this, then I'm not sure. That's a totally new area for me.
What's those words?
800 probably.
Huh?
800
Please.
probably at least.
I don't know.
Depends on what they are.
Yeah, it depends on what they are.
We're all in that space.
Yeah, they were gonna send them out to see if they can get, they had a couple pieces of gear that were the same way to do. You can send it, we've done it where we've gotten into like oil or something and we'll send gear out to get washed so we can save it and bring it back. I think we were able to save everything but one coat out of a semi that was superheated. The water got in it. We oiled straight out of the block and everything. But so that's the only thing I can do. And as far as Monticello, we shouldn't, because of the mutual aid agreement that we have with everybody, we shouldn't be charged for that. But I will double check.
A lot of times the insurance, when we did it in the past, because I was in charge of billing, we'd actually be in contact with the owner of the business, whoever, and the insurance company. They would find out from the insurance company what they would pay.
Yeah.
If it was $10,000 or $20,000, they get a bill and then they write a check.
So, Josh and I were supposed to get together tonight and talk about some other things. He wanted to ask me a couple questions about a few things. So, and I don't know if everyone's on Facebook, but they don't know how to do anything else but work, so they're trying to open the stand tonight. Down at the fair. They were closed yesterday. So,
Hopefully I don't make it down there to get something.
yeah, we're gonna run down there and eat. I gotta take care of the kids now.
Yeah, the insurance company put the fence up today, so we'll order the barricades tomorrow. And I think we start hauling out cars.
So they took out
We did.
purchases today. Everything, they found some more after everybody had left. So they're gonna be back tomorrow. The fire inspector, the insurance guy, and I think maybe Josh. They gave Josh a break today. They said they kind of just did their own thing. But they're all supposed to move back at their point. So, and like the inspector said, he said this is the hard part, and the slow part. You know, on our, he had his boss down there too. Fire.
Now we're just hoping that's a business comes back and comes back good.
Yeah.
Which they've had a couple businesses reach out to them. Had a couple come in last night while we were having a carving night. I don't know if you saw their shirts. They're from Logan's.
Oh, yeah.
They were trying to offer assistance, helping with, because they know they got animals. They need to send their people over there to cut or whatever. And there's another one, Laura. Another one, there's a Laura, and there's another one. They just get them up to saying, whatever. So it's kind of been pretty good. That's all I got. Jamie sort of Jamaica on
Everybody in
No
town knows.
problem.
Now everybody in town knows.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Watch my house.
Roger, did you have anything for the police?
Where are we at on tools?
I was gonna go ahead and raise it a little bit. We had general. I was gonna raise it like 2,000 just to make sure. Let me look here. This is so tiny. You guys will probably find it before me.
I gotta go take care of these.
Okay.
Take care of these. Thank you.
Well, Bring that to the next meeting. We don't have to budget the water and wastewater. So the police department is currently have 11,140 left out of 17,000, which is 65%. Which this is as of June 30th. So they're doing pretty. This is pretty good.
It's been some good money. We ended up sending Jake's vehicle back for another, because as soon as he got.
And I did think that we're probably.
So they ended up changing them all.
I did think we also needed to increase that like 2,000 for next year, possibly, but because I was like, they're getting older and it seems like they're having some issues. I don't know if 2,000 is enough to increase it by, but. Right. And I don't even know what year they got them, so that's something that we probably will have.
Listen, I
In the
seen a
future.
Prius the other day that looked just fine. 42 miles a gallon. You turn the lights on, they're supposed to pull over, right?
And 62 miles an hour. That's right.
Last year, we had increased your equipment for the gun, for the extra gun. Should we leave that where it's at for this next year, or what do you think for? I think it was 3 before, and then we moved it to 5. You guys have a pretty small budget.
Yeah, we have,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you only get this stuff from us. At least the fire department has some township.
Jake's rifle eventually too.
So probably at least leave that where it's at.
Crossing guards, we gave them. What did we give them?
Last year, I think they went from 18 to 20 a day.
Hey, you need to raise it.
Currently, I think this last.
$20
Uh-huh.
a day.
And they have to show up
go there
twice.
and stand twice
Well,
a day.
So you're talking,
The problem is that
$10
it
an hour.
interrupts your whole day. You got
it's like half an hour each time. they're up.
yeah.
So you're getting paid $20.
$20 an hour. Now,
An hour.
we buy their cold weather gear and stuff like
So,
that. Because it needs to be. And then we usually give them, that's exactly why it comes Christmas time,
Uh-huh.
I go get them a $50 gift certificate from the town in the locker plant.
Uh-huh.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
You know what's funny is Sean just said we can't get volunteers because what's in it for me?
Oh, dude, it's,
Nobody wants to do anything.
you know,
Listen, when I was in school,
anybody that goes up there and stands
Yeah.
for that.
Chris, I've been preaching it for years here on the board about, you get what you pay for and we struggle. I mean, you go back and look at these, just the wages and the averages where we're at and how far behind we are, and I hate to keep bashing previous boards, 30 years ago, but that's where it started. I mean, and their hands were handcuffed by the community and by us being,
But when
I'm going on a
when I
trailer
first
job
started,
at $5 an hour.
And it's with the times. When I first started, we had a 9-10 insurance program for the employees and their whole family. And we've had to, because of the cost of insurance and stuff, we've had to revamp that. The clinic thing, I think, is a big program
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. I'll be interested to see how it works.
Right.
The new,
Yeah.
Oh, she wasn't here.
Oh, he wasn't here. We're switching from over there to Francis.
oh, really?
50%.
You mentioned that, yeah.
Penny picture.
And where's
Well,
where's the Franciscan going to, where's it at?
well, so you can go. There's 14 locations. The ones closest to us are Rensselaer, West Lafayette. But you can go to any of them that are.
Okay.
And one nice thing about what is the West Lafayette one is actually 24/7.
Well, it's not 24/7. And I actually thought it was 7 to 7 or 8 to 8 or something like that. But when I look closer, that's not included in there. So I don't know. There must be a working well right next to that urgent care, but it is till 5. You still have where you can do like the virtual or, yeah. And then there's some of them have Saturday. I think they have a Saturday hour that you can go down there. But yeah, but it didn't include actually that.
Did Honor go? Did he end up
I don't know. I haven't seen anybody. No, he was going to go to Verb.
Yeah. because
Yeah.
That's what I told him. I said, you
Right.
can't prove that workman
Mhm.
comp, so go.
Right. Right. But I haven't seen it. You guys have been really busy since Monday. Yeah. I
Hey,
haven't really seen anybody.
That looks good.
Yeah, we'll go back and we'll, after we get them all cleaned out, we'll go back. We've got some dirt down for them. And we'll fill office where we're not gonna have grass to fall. We're supposed to be fine. This weather. Throw some grass down.
How many stumps do you do?
Oh, geez. I have to list it.
Have to look at it, 35 or 38. He missed one at Jennifer's that he'll catch it when he comes back.
We haven't got the bill for it yet.
Yeah.
I wrote them down based on what we got for the locates. So, I think there were more than one, like there's more than one in a certain block
Yeah.
where they had them. So I guess I really don't know how many.
He sent me a picture of the one in Garland's yard. I said, no, we can't pay for that one, but let me make a phone call. And I called Clint, I ran across the street. I think he ended up grabbed that for $100. He got some for, I think he had 500 or 600 job boys here in town.
I'm sure.
Audie, Moser boy over here, the old Harvey house.
Positive thing.
Got one down on the corner of the road, no, Madison and Harrison, I guess, in the property owner did that. It was on this property. It was close enough to the road, it's gone.
It's raise time, Raj. I was gonna pour more gas on that, keep burning.
It's funny how long it takes.
Buddy, how many years?
I was trying to think the other day when, because Rick cut it down, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and
I can't remember when.
that's how I came about coming on the board.
I'm gonna think probably close to 10 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure every bit of that, because
I think
we wanted to trim that at one point, because it was so doggone big and hanging over that T road, that actually, that road's supposed to go straight through the old folks' homes there now. What is it, Madison? Yep. Supposed to go all the way through to where he grew up, but they wouldn't let us trim that. I mean, this goes back to the Nub Broadbent days. That's how old that was. And then when Lightning hit the damn thing, I get a letter that says you got to come pay to cut this down. You got 10 days to get it down, or we're going to cut it down and send you a bill. I went, whoa, ain't my tree. You know, when it was your tree, I couldn't cut it. Now that it needs to come down, all of a sudden I inherited it. That's not right.
we did, I thought since we were paying to fertilize the new town hall and everything, there was an irrigation system up there, so we actually hooked it up. I had light stream from the take care of the school come over, since I don't know a whole lot about the programming of it and everything. And we did a repair in the meter pit. We hooked it up and we actually kicked it on, and it has 6 different zones. And had about 2 inches of grass and sod when they popped through the ground, but they all work. We've got 2 heads on there we want to replace, but we're running the irrigation 4 days a week. Each zone 30 minutes. We'll cut it down as the weather gets cool.
And we're not watering it like they do the football field when it rains, are we?
Well, the thing
It's
is.
on a program, so.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah,
on a
if
program.
it's raining- If it's raining, it'll be running.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's, I go by and shake my head at that.
But speaking of that, wasn't there a thing that the school,
Yes.
that they're still using the old meter and we've always determined those old meters not working correctly?
Well, all the irrigation is running off of new meters. The
Okay.
only one that we haven't been able to change out yet is the concession stand. That's all that runs the concession stand. And we've still not found a shut
And,
for that.
and that didn't have anything to do with the field.
Dean did it. He could remember about where and when. It was before he worked for the school. It's plastic line and it's back before they put in wire with those. So there's no way of tracing it back. The fear is if we go fiddle farting with it too much, we break the conduit underneath the concrete on that 2-inch. And we don't have a place to shut it off. You gotta spoil it down. So we're still working on that. Date Scott was supposed to come up, but Dave's wife had to have some open heart surgery. So
Why was
he's a
they?
couple months. They got a camper over at the campground by Norway.
But why was he coming up?
We were gonna come, he was gonna come up with a trying to figure it out. People were going to work.
Oh.
We think it's in the.
Yeah, they're getting off subject, aren't
Yeah, we're off subject.
Yeah.
I think it's behind Dick Jim someplace now. But nobody's gonna find it.
What else do we need to cover on budget?
So the only other thing that I had as far as budget was, I don't expect you can't make a decision tonight. I was just kind of looking for some ideas on salary. If you want to do across the board, I sent you some numbers. If you wanted to do based on, their performance, or maybe if there's just a couple you want to give an extra percent to, like who deserve an extra percentage. We do have some lines where we can absorb. When I looked at what we currently have budgeted, like I said, that's where we have the 3% that we could do. We have the superintendent right now, but that we really need to put some more, because in the MVH, the street commissioner is only budgeted like 14,000. So some of that needs to be taken and put, not this year, but in the future. I think we can get rid of that one, but I would like to take some of that and use it towards the MVH fund to pay. The street commissioner gets paid 100% out of MVH. So
I'm an individual type.
Same.
I don't like cross the board.
mhm.
I work in a union shop and it ain't right.
I just know my experience at the courthouse was they would do like an across the board, and then if they had an employee who the supervisor wanted to suggest a higher increase, then they could suggest that.
In my day of running 2 plants,
Mhm.
across the board's cost of living.
Right, but it's
Merit
not
is salary.
even 3%. Isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, we're looking at 2.6 right now at next year.
right.
Cost of living increase. That's one. That ain't right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Not close.
See, that's
Your
what
grocery bill go up 2.6%.
I think it went more.
I think
here
so.
a while back, we realized that Cody's been here for a year, and you have 3 different categories within that category of amount. So we put him in the middle.
Right.
But by the end of the year, I'd like to have him up to the max.
Which is what?
Oh,
Right now,
20.
Right now, he's making $20.
28,
it is. It's,
I get
How
back
much is
to
Tracy making?
yeah. So the non-certified, it's 2077.
And I think since she's got one certification, I think she should get more than that.
She already got one,
Oh, you did?
Yeah, last meeting.
which put her at 20.
Where have I been? Have I not been here? Oh, I
were sick.
remember.
You
I
were
was
sick.
sick. That's right.
The only thing that I have about that is that, so we were paying her the non-certified sewage plant operator because we considered her a lead. She does order the materials and, like keeps the plant running. And she also, when Roger's not there, she helps keep everybody with what they need to do. When we gave her the raise, we put her to the labor. So she didn't really get the raise that she would have got based on what she actually does.
You know what she went up to then?
Yeah, it was 22.52. So I think that's something we probably need to keep in mind.
Oh, well, that's what she does.
So
Well, that's what I have there.
So the
but
sewage
so-
plant operator non-certified for sewage plants, 2141. So that's less than what she's making now.
But now she has certification.
But that's for sewer, not for water.
It doesn't matter. So it's with just one certification.
No, because this is actually for sewage. So it's separate than water.
She's labor with one certification.
For,
Water.
2378.
Yeah. 22.50.
but maybe this one says sewage plant operator. But I don't know how you classify that. I mean, yeah, she does operate it, but she's not the licensed operator.
No. Right. But they even had it for when they're not even certified.
I agree. With
I-
what you're
in the-
saying.
Pat, what we did before was the reason you guys, the way I understood it, the reason you put her at the 2141 was because she had the additional responsibilities. Yeah. So,
And I agree with what Chris is saying, but I also think we have to go out and look at the average for the area and where we're at to retain.
it was really hard to look at the averages for the operators. It wasn't, I mean, the commissioner, like the street commissioner that doesn't exist anywhere else, I don't think. But for the council and the clerk treasurer, those are easy to find. But when you start to try to look for, because people label them differently, especially with their police officers,
Let me ask you this.
whether they're,
Before she got certified, was she the sewage plant operator at 2141?
Yes.
Okay. She should be paid 2378 for sewage plant operator with one certification.
That's what I'm looking.
That's what she should be paid, because we were paying her the same language, sewage plant operator at 2141.
right. And that's my point. That's what I'm saying then.
Non-certified.
Yeah.
Now she has one certification. It doesn't say it has to be wastewater certification. She does have one certification. She should be making 2378.
Right. But we bumped her,
And
To labor.
We just bumped her up
So-
to 2252.
which was the labor, just the
Yeah,
plain.
right.
yeah.
And she should be making 2378. That's how I would see that. You people see that?
It's just don't talk about it too much. But I just want you to keep it in mind that that's might be something we want to look at for.
Okay.
And then
I mean, you go
if
by
that
the
was
verbiage that we
decided,
use,
I think that still puts her like 9% below, like what
Well,
would be
probably.
an average. And I think we have to consider that, because at some point, she's gonna get certified to the point and become pretty important to us.
Yeah.
Priority is.
Or someone else.
Yeah, but she's gonna bolt. And if she's worth keeping, I guess that's where you're gonna tell me more than, I know what I see. but
Well, we
doesn't
got-
matter what I
that
see.
will be an
It's
executive.
It's like I told you guys. It's the
I would
last meeting.
be like
She
executive.
deserved a raise, and I wouldn't have a problem taking her up to the 23 something. If
But we
that's
can't talk
already-
about that.
Yeah.
This is,
Okay.
we're talking about budget.
Yeah.
We
but-
can put
well,
it on there for
is-
the next.
It is in the budget, but
Right.
Right.
moving her up to that, if that's what the board sees fit, I don't have a problem with that. Now, is she ready to cut loose on her own as an operator? No, absolutely not.
Right.
And that's set
Well,
right down.
but-
Shaking her
but-
head.
Right.
the
No,
problem
and
with
she
that
she
is,
would admit that.
It
She
doesn't
knows.
say that.
Yeah, yeah.
It says
So-
one certification.
Yeah.
Well, and if that's what
And
you're
that's what-
classifying as she's the sewage plant operator.
And that's what we were paying.
And
Yes.
stuff, we were paying her off.
The
that.
terminology
We
sucks.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
terminology sucks.
Yeah.
Because right
It leaves
now,
a lot to be
she
interpreted.
can come over and do all my water in town right now.
What you gonna pay?
Probably more than what.
Exactly, my point. And those jobs are out there, guys. We're losing our water guy.
Haynes.
Haynes, he's on his deathbed almost.
Oh,
He's bad shape.
Now, and one thing that in going over time credits this week is I've got to settle down and have a talk with her on taking the lunch like you've been told to take the lunch because she's been putting overtime in. Doesn't know.
and say, and the numbers that I gave you were based without overtime. So we do need to have a little bit of wiggle room there. I know the night of the fire that she got called in. It got called in twice, I think.
She didn't get called in.
Yeah.
She got called to say, because I couldn't get a hold of Honor, is Cody up to where he can turn on the high surface pumps in the wells? And she said, no, I'll turn that way.
Oh.
That's
And I don't know why she came back.
You could talk somebody through that on the phone.
Yeah, it's,
It's flipping two switches.
well, and then we're gonna have a conversation with why it's not. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so, but.
Probably if we're
I
going to
want-
discuss the
you know,
employees,
I
though, we
wanna
should do that as an
eliminate the
executive
overtime.
session. Yeah, because we are being recorded.
Well,
We're live still.
my question,
So-
what are we gonna do about this money, what, right now? What we're paying?
Well, we're
That's a
not going to
different-
make a decision on that
That's a
tonight.
different
I just,
session.
yeah, but we
Yeah.
could talk about it at the next meeting. And then I just kind of want to know what your thoughts are as far as what I should try to budget in for, and maybe we don't know. We'll have to just talk about it in August or whatever.
So-
So I know how much I would have to move around.
Which is why I asked you today. So I asked the question today, how much money do we have? Okay. Say in everybody's room, in this room, we have $1,000 or $100,000 for salaries. Okay. What I was trying to get from Annette is, do we have $50,000 we can distribute in increases?
So you just want to know the amount that we already have budgeted.
I want this amount, and what can we go to? Then we can distribute it how we want.
But a portion that's already distributed. So you're wanting just the amount that's not distributed.
Yeah. That would be the raise amount, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can work on that and send that out to you guys.
Because then at that point you can see, because it hurts my head to see, let's use you for an example, right?
Mhm.
You go to anywhere else, Winamax, a little bit smaller, they're bigger than us.
Same with my position. I have to move there.
But
I can't just go there. I would have to.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's a $18,000 pay difference.
Right.
We've got, you look at Rogers, it's another 10,000 or 15, it's a pay difference.
Mhm.
We've got to keep up with the times. We're fortunate that Jake,
Mhm.
is working for what he's doing. I mean, Christie's son, Reese, started at Lafayette PD, $80,000 a year.
They get a lot more. I mean, it's a bigger town or bigger. It's a city. It's a yeah.
I get it, but
So
I'm not saying.
And it all depends on where you want to be. Their cost of living's higher unless they can live here and commute. It's
It's still there, and it's going to just grow,
Right.
right?
That's my point about we keep,
but the thing is, they get a lot more money than we do.
and they got a lot bigger job,
Yeah. Right.
just like what I'm after in your
Right.
position or us here.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Rogers,
I got a son that makes $100-some thousand a year. for me, so.
Right.
it's
Well,
a
yeah.
homegrown thing, but we need to try to close the gap and catch the time.
And I agree. And you'll see on there that it does break it down by like towns that are near our size, the under 2,000, and then there's the ones that are over.
Oh, I think you did a nice job
So
on that. but-
that way you can kind of see, and then it's just the average of them all together. If you wanted to compare apples to apples, maybe just look at the 2,000, and
We're still we're still.
Oh, I
there.
agree. Yeah.
Well, and then another thing you do, because I have no intention of ever doing a bunch of kids like move that in the past for summer help.
Hmm.
So summer help, we're not using all that money, so it can be
Right.
within the salaries.
Yeah.
So,
And that's what I was saying. I can come up with those numbers and send that out to you guys so you kind of know.
So this is what I get every.
Because I
year,
really
right?
don't want to increase the salaries right now because we have quite not knowing what's going to happen with what we're going to be bringing in.
Yeah,
Can I,
have a
our
different
lit?
thoughts about that, but
Well, okay, so and hopefully things will change, but like I'll just tell you, like for 2028, the lit that structure is eliminated, and in 2024, our income from that was $536,412. 2023 was 481,000, and then 22 it was 391. I mean, it's a huge chunk, and that's going to be totally restructured, and you don't have any idea how much that's going to what that's going to look like.
Here's
yet.
how far
We
behind.
can't, we can't funnel to that. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Right.
And I think that's good forward look.
Well, but I'm saying
But-
this is why I don't want to increase what we have right there now.
But we also are gonna grow.
Mhm.
You know, we keep talking about the across the street from Kenny and the down here plant, you know, apartment buildings. I mean, and
Right.
there are several going. So that base is going to increase a little bit. It's going to be a smaller percentage, but it's going to increase.
Right.
Well,
Now, I hope the state does away with senior citizens having to pay property tax.
Well, you got an extra credit now.
Which is gonna hit you, so, but that's gonna benefit a couple of us.
you sit there and look at, we've been looking for 2 years for a town superintendent.
But we haven't advertised.
Yeah, we have. It's been on Facebook. No, everybody, $60,000 to come run our town.
I can tell you the last time when it was up and given to Tony, they looked really hard then. And I can tell you, everybody that called in and checked, if it wasn't over $100 and some $1,000, they weren't interested in looking at that.
Yeah, you got to move here. There's nobody in town that has qualifications. Well, maybe. But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not close.
Hmm.
We go back to the, you guys get mad at me when I, figure wages and everything, and you get what you pay for type deal. We got to set this town up, not for Tony to be here another 4 years, or Chris, or Danny, or RB, somebody else. What's in it for them, right? We need to make sure that, okay, yeah, I can go be on the town board making an extra $4,000 to $5,000 and help the town. There's not a lot of people out there like Tony and Ken and RD and the people setting up here that want to come out and do that. There's just not. And we just have to get it somewhat attractive. Look at Roger. Who's going to come in for $60,000 a year to be town marshal? Roger's 62, 1.
Thanks.
You're older now.
Are you really?
Okay, so shoot, he could turn in
I'm
his
not that
resignation tomorrow, and we're not gonna, we.
Wait,
we have to
right?
get there. The money's there.
Holy crap, you older big boy. I know, and I don't believe it. I walk through the plant and guys go, "Why are you still working?" If I don't, I'll die. I'll sit home and rot. I couldn't do it. I'm attention deficit. I gotta be doing something. But yeah, you're 65. We're gonna have to replace you one of these days. Hope you don't get shot, but
Jeez.
Got punched in the mouth.
He
He
hurt
got
me.
a 3-1 shot.
Oh,
Okay, so are we done with this then?
I think so. I'm going to get you some more numbers for that, and we can discuss it at our next meeting.
yeah, make a motion to adjourn.
Tony, you're my favorite.
I have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, meeting adjourned. And now we got 1 o'clock Friday.
Turn that thing off.
I'm trying. God, give me a second here.
I was gonna say May on the meeting.
For yes, to talk with Ken
your office?
Yes.